Alright YouTube, so in the first video we went over the unboxing and initial setup of the Lyman Gen 6, followed by the second video where we went over the calibration, operation, and accuracy check of the measure. So now all that's left is for us to clean up our mess. So the first thing we're going to do is we've got to scoot the measure onto the side here so you can see where the door is. Okay, there's that door. Once you open it up, it'll become a chute, and where you can pour your powder straight into the jar. Let's see if that's a good angle. Yep, alright. So first thing you do is open your door here. Okay, you open the door, it becomes a chute, and you grab your bottle of powder. Make sure that you only have one bottle of powder on your bench at any time so you don't mix up your powder. This is H1000, this is what we were using earlier. And so the chute's open, now there's a gate here, okay, and you'll just slide the gate open and watch the powder just go into the bottle. Alright, so that's not going to get everything out. Alright, we're going to close our gate again, and you should be able to see, and you can, there's a bunch of powder still stuck on the bottom of the hopper here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the unit up and gently shake it to get most of that powder into the low area of the dispenser. Now the reason why I just pick it up and gently shake it is because you don't want to turn the machine upside down, you don't want to jar it. This load cell is very sensitive, very it's a precision instrument, it's very sensitive to that kind of stuff, so you don't want to turn the machine upside down or give it a big bang on the side to knock the kernels loose. So just gently shake it. Alright, well that took care of most of the rest of the powder. So I'm going to go ahead and close this gate. Okay, gently. I do everything gently to not upset that load cell. And now I'm going to remove the hopper. Now there's a few loose grains inside the hopper, but as I remove it, it comes off so easy that you can just basically make sure that none of that powder is going anywhere. So I take it off like that, and then and just set it over my jar, give it a little shake. Now you can be rough with the hopper, of course, and just get every last kernel of powder out of it. Alright, so now at this point the tube is still full of powder. So all we got to do is set a large powder weight. I'm just going to use 15 grains. Hit enter. And just wait for the tube to empty out. It's already pretty much empty. Just gonna wait. Alright, that's enough. Hit the stop button. It'll stop, that'll stop it from turning. I'll take the contents of the pan, put it in the jar. Now, I'm always going to return the pan back to its holder because there's always going to be like a kernel or two of powder that'll fall out, and if the pan's not here, it's just going to spill all over the place. So the next thing you do is you get your J tool that comes with the machine, and the whole point of this tool is to engage the drive motor. There's a little hole. I'm not sure if you can see it. Let's try to zoom you guys in. Alright. I think that's a lot better. Okay, so you might be able to see it. There's a hole here on the drive motor where this tool basically engages into, and what that does is it lets you unscrew the tube without, driving the motor or bending the spring or whatever. Okay, so now the tube is disengaged from the motor, and all you have to do is simply slide it out of the machine. Again, there's always a few kernels that might get loose. I always keep the pan, you see that? There you go. So I always keep the pan with the tube. Tube's empty. Take the pan, dump it in the bottle, put the pan back. All right, so now with the tube out, all you have to do is simply depress and click out this box, okay? Now, there's some loose powder around the box. It's just inside that circle. We can brush that in so we don't spill it. But mostly all you're going to do is take this box here and pour it out into your bottle, just like that. Okay, so that's empty. Now this is a long grain powder. Let me zoom you guys out. That's a long grain powder, so effectively we're all cleaned up here. Okay, so I could just assemble the machine on from here and I'd be fine. But that's not the point of the video. I'm going to break it all the way down. Now I wouldn't do it, but if you use powders like H110 or Win 296, these really fine ball powders, the ball powder can get stuck inside of these gaskets. These gaskets are basically little rubber grommets that are free to spin with the tube, and it seals off the sides of the tube so the powder doesn't come spilling out. But those fine grain powders or little flake powders, they can get caught inside these gaskets and you got to clean them out. But they come out pretty simple. They're just clicked into these slots here. You get your finger in there, tug on them, and they'll come out. Now, to clean them out, you just take your brush and you wipe off the powder. It's not a big deal. Again, you can use ball powders in this measure, but fine ball powders, they meter so well in rotary measures. It just doesn't seem to be a need. Well, not for me anyway. There's no need for me to put it in this kind of measure. Also, they're typically used for pistol cartridges, which you normally just set up on a progressive. Anyway, so once the box is clean, you slide it back in the slot, you push it in, it'll click. All right, then from here, you get your tube, feed the tube end, feed the tube in correctly. If you use the stop, it's obvious which side of the tube needs to go in. Just slide it through, okay. And when it gets through the second gasket, you'll take your J-tool out so that you can align the drive motor, that drive motor shaft there with the tube. And then, once it threads up, you just kind of turn it clockwise until you get a snug fit, not an overly tight fit. You just want to snug it up just a little bit. All right, so it's assembled now, or that part of it's assembled. So now all we got to do is put the hopper back on. Again, just like in the first video, you have the broad tab here, lines up with the broad slot, okay? And then, unlike the first video, I'm going to depress this button so I can gently set the hopper onto the machine without jarring the whole thing. And it's locked in already, okay? And then the last thing you do is put the dust cover on. And that's it. You're pretty much cleaned up. So it's a little more tricky to clean out than a Charge Master. It seems like from the videos anyways. It's just on the Charge Master, it's just a wheel on the side, then you pour all the powder out. I haven't seen a video where you totally disassemble that one. But going back to the Gen 6, it's a little tricky to clean. It can be, but it doesn't take very long. I mean, it hasn't taken me very long, and I'm reaching around a camera and explaining every step I'm doing. Usually I can have this thing cleaned up in like 2 or 3 minutes. It's not a terribly hard task to do. And the good thing is you can disassemble it that far relatively easily in order to make sure that you are absolutely not mixing powders into your loads. There's not going to be this, a couple of grains of some other powder ending up into your case. So you can be absolutely sure that you've gotten all the powder out of the machine, which is really good. So yeah, with that I think is going to be my last video on the Lyman Gen 6. If you have any other questions about reloading, I can certainly try to answer those or throw up some videos. I do metallic cartridge reloading, pistol and rifle on both single stage and progressive presses. And you know, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below and I'll try to get back to you on those. Well, that's it for the Lyman Gen 6. Thank you very much for watching these videos and happy reloading.